Very good morning and welcome to the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha Television, the perfect show to kickstart your day, bringing you the top national, international, sports and business news. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor and here are this morning's headlines. Congress sends its Gujarat MLAs to Bengaluru after slew of resignations ahead of Rajya Sabha polls, accuses BJP of poaching them. BJP claims Congress cannot keep its flock together. Zakir Naik declared a proclaimed offender. NIA begins process to attach his assets over terror and money laundering charges. Sri Lanka to sign deal with a Chinese firm to sell 70% stake at Hambantota port. Lanka allays India's fears, assures no foreign navy will be allowed there. North Korea launches another intercontinental ballistic missile. Estimates say this could be the longest range that any North missile has tested so far. And Rajya Sabha television production Raag Desh garners impressive reviews. Critics hail film's honest approach and meticulous research in telling the tale of India's unsung heroes. Our top story this morning: in a severe blow to the Congress in Gujarat, just ahead of the Rajya Sabha polls, 3 more party MLAs resigned on Friday. Now the MLAs Man Singh Chauhan, Chanabhai Chaudhary and Ram Singh Parmar have handed their resignations to the Assembly Speaker. Now with this, the total number of MLAs who have quit the Congress now stands at 6. 3 MLAs considered close to Shankar Singh Waghela resigned on Thursday and joined the BJP. Now, one of them, Balwant Singh Rajput, has been named the BJP's candidate for the upcoming Rajya Sabha polls against Congress veteran Ahmed Patel. Now, following the resignations in a move to guard its MLAs from allegedly being poached, the Congress leadership shifted them to Bengaluru last night.
उनको अपना घर संभाले नहीं बन रहा है और वो मोहल्ले में शोर मचा रहे हैं। आज जो है वो उनका लीडर ऑफ द अपोजिशन उनको छोड़ के जा रहे हैं, चीफ विप उनको छोड़ के जा रहे हैं, कांग्रेस पार्टी की विदाई का चारों तरफ बज रहा है। उसके बाद उनकी जो बौखलाहट है, जिस तरह का उनका हताशा और निराशा भरा व्यवहार है, तो ऐसा लगता है कि डिफीट के डिप्रेशन से अभी भी वो बाहर नहीं निकल पाए हैं।
वो बिखर रहे हैं, खुद सी पार्टी से अलग हो रहे हैं। ये बात कांग्रेस को सही तरीके से जनता को बतानी चाहिए।
बीजेपी does not believe in democratic principles, does not believe in decency. First, they stole 2 governments in Goa and in Manipur. Now they are in the business of stealing MLAs. When they have enough MLAs to get their 2 people elected, why they are trying to get our MLAs abducted?
गुजरात तो पहले भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने जो नया राजनीति में एक नया आयाम शुरू किया था, उसका अनुभव कर चुका था, लेकिन अभी सारे देश उसका अनुभव कर रहे हैं। धारा सभ्यों की खरीद फरोख्त करना, उनको धमकियां देना, डराना और सरेंडर करवाना, यह टेक्निक मोदी जी और अमित शाह ने मिलकर बनाई थी। उसके आधार पर 2014 को हमें अनुभव है कि उन्होंने कई हमारे जो एमएलए थे उनको रेजिग्नेशन करवाए थे। उसके बाद यही एक्सपेरिमेंट उन्होंने गोवा में किया, मणिपुर में किया और अभी बिहार में भी हुआ, और वही उन्होंने वो गुजरात में कर रहे हैं।
And proceedings of the upper house were disrupted on Friday in the pre-lunch session after the Congress accused the BJP of abducting its MLAs in Gujarat. The ruling party denied all the charges and asked the Congress to set its house in order. Several adjournments were witnessed as the Treasury and the opposition members traded barbs. Here are all the details.
You go back. Let me take up your order.
The opposition Congress held protests in the Rajya Sabha alleging that the Gujarat police abducted a party MLA to influence the upcoming elections to the upper house. Raising the issue, Congress's Anand Sharma charged the BJP with using the police to spirit away Congress's legislators in Gujarat.
Last night, one ST Congress MLA, Poonaji Gavit, representing Viara constituency from Tapi district of Gujarat, was abducted by the police. And many MLAs are being abducted. It's a constitutional violation is taking place.
They can, if they are abducted, they can complain.
No, sir, it is to the Council of States, this house. Constitution is very clear about it. They are in the habit of stealing MLAs, which they showed in Goa and Manipur, but now they are stealing Rajya Sabha elections.
Leader of opposition Ghulam Nabi Azad urged the chair to direct the Election Commission of India to ensure free and fair elections in Gujarat.
As Deputy Chairman, आप ये कर सकते हैं कि Election Commission को यहाँ से direct दे सकते हैं, direction दे सकते हैं कि to ensure fair and free election and misuse of government agencies should be ensured. And such officer should be removed.
The government hit back at the Congress for causing obstruction in the House for what it termed as its internal fiasco.
ये कांग्रेस पार्टी का आंतरिक मसला है। ये कांग्रेस में इन लोगों ने पार्टी में किसी ने बताया है नहीं बताया है। साहब, कांग्रेस पार्टी का लीडर ऑफ अपोजिशन गुजरात विधानसभा पार्टी छोड़ देता है, उनके विधायक पार्टी छोड़ रहे हैं, उनके विधायक राष्ट्रपति के उम्मीदवार को वोट नहीं दे रहे हैं, इनकी कंप्लेन यहाँ क्यों कर रहे हैं?
चुनाव आयोग अपनी निगरानी में निष्पक्ष और भयमुक्त माहौल में चुनाव कराता है। अगर वहाँ पर चुनाव में किसी तरह की इनको कोई शिकायत है तो ये यहाँ पर राज्यसभा में नहीं बल्कि चुनाव आयोग को जाकर के, जैसा आपने कहा, कि अपनी शिकायत कर सकते हैं। दिक्कत ये नहीं है, दिक्कत ये है इनको घर अपना समझ नहीं रहा है, मोहल्ले में शोर मचा रहे हैं, अपनी सदन के समय को बर्बाद कर रहे हैं।
Deputy Chairman P.J. Curran clarified that the Election Commission does not require a direction from the chair to conduct free and fair elections.
I want to make it clear, the Election Commission does not require a direction from the chair to conduct the election in a fair manner. The Election Commission is bound to do it constitutionally to conduct the election, and they are doing that. If you have complaint, you approach the Election Commission.
The Congress members continued their tirade against the ruling party and moved into the well of the House. 0 hour and question hour were washed away amid the protests.
Chance of 0 hour people, those who are given 0 hour submission.
Kriti Mishra, Rajya Sabha TV.
And post-lunch, the government demanded an apology from the Congress for defaming Gujarat in the upper house, urging it to introspect its failures. Now, the Congress alleged that the Prime Minister's office was involved in brewing dissent in its Gujarat unit. As the standoff persisted, the House could not transact any business even in the post-lunch session.
As the House assembled at 2:30 p.m, Minister of State for Parliamentary Affairs Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi upped the ante against the Congress for the party's deepening crisis in Gujarat. He also demanded an apology from Congress members for vilifying Gujarat for its own failures.
गुजरात में निष्पक्ष ढंग से भयमुक्त माहौल में चुनाव हो रहा है और उस चुनाव में आपका सूपड़ा बार-बार साफ हुआ है और भी साफ होगा। हमारा आपसे अनुरोध है कि कांग्रेस पार्टी के नेता यहाँ पर हैं, वो माफी मांगे इस बात के लिए, गुजरात के लोगों से माफी मांगे और गुजरात के लोगों को जो बदनाम करने का कि साजिश और षड्यंत्र किया है उसके लिए माफी मांगे और सारे के सारा जो कुछ भी इन्होंने कहा वो स्पष्ट किया जाए।
But the Congress reiterated the charge that BJP abducted its MLAs in Gujarat.
The Superintendent of Police of Wadi has kidnapped the MLA before filing the nominations, and even today they got 2 of our MLAs resigned from the assembly, and they nude our chief whip. They have made him as the candidate. That means Prime Minister's office is directly involved in all these defections.
The chair sought to pacify the members and take up the private members' resolution.
No, honorable members, this is private members' business. If members are not cooperating, if from both sides there is shouting, I will be forced to adjourn the House.
However, the deadlock persisted. As the verbal duels continued between the Treasury and the opposition benches, the chair adjourned the House on Monday.
What can I do? I am helpless. There are some occasions.
With inputs from Vishal Dahiya and Panchanan Mishra, Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Demand of asking apology from either side.
On to some other news. Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar won the trust vote in the Assembly on Friday, securing the support of 131 MLAs. Now, Nitish Kumar insisted that he was forced to break the alliance due to RJD's attitude and in the interests of the state.
जनता सबसे बड़ी कोर्ट होती है, जनता सबसे बड़ी अदालत होती है और जनता के प्रति प्रतिबद्धता हमारा है जनता की सेवा करने का, एक परिवार की सेवा करने का नहीं है। और ये राज मिलता है, यह योग, यह सेवा राजभोग के लिए नहीं मिलता है, मेवा के लिए नहीं मिलता है।
Addressing the Bihar Assembly ahead of the trust vote, Chief Minister Nitish Kumar defended his move to part ways with the Mahagathbandhan and join the BJP. Nitish Kumar said his former ally, the RJD, chose to indulge in corruption in the name of secularism. He asserted that his decision was solely in the interest of the state that he has served for more than a decade.
हमने जो भी फैसला दिया है बिहार के हित में लिया है और बिहार के विकास के हित में लिया है।
Supported by the BJP, Nitish Kumar secured 131 votes in the 243-member assembly. 108 MLAs voted against the confidence motion. Speaking to the media soon after winning the trust vote, newly sworn-in Bihar Deputy Chief Minister Sushil Kumar Modi expressed his happiness and said the new government is committed to work for the state's well-being.
मुझे खुशी है कि नीतीश कुमार ने समय पर कदम उठाया और भ्रष्टाचार से समझौता करने से इनकार कर दिया। उन्होंने लालू के सामने घुटना नहीं टेका और ये जो गठबंधन बना है, ये जो एनडीए के साथ नीतीश कुमार का गठबंधन है, ये बाकी बचे 40 महीना पूरी मजबूती से पूरा करेगा और हम बिहार को विकास की ऊंचाइयों पर ले जाने का काम करेंगे।
The former Deputy Chief Minister, however, accused the new government of insulting the people's mandate.
भाजपा के साथ मिलकर के जो सरकार बनाया गया, ये लोकतंत्र की हत्या है और बिहार के तमाम जनता के साथ ये धोखा हुआ है महोदय। इसलिए हमारा कर्तव्य बनता है कि ये जो छल कपट और नकारात्मक राजनीति जो हुई है, जोड़ तोड़ की बात जो चली है, मेरा ये स्पष्ट मानना मेरा ही नहीं बल्कि पूरे देश का मानना है कि ये पहले से ही प्री प्लान्ड था।
RJD MLAs also held a protest against Nitish Kumar outside the State Assembly. The party has also decided to move court against the Bihar governor's invitation to the JDU and the NDA to form the government. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
On to the other top story. Controversial Islamic preacher Zakir Naik has been declared a proclaimed offender. The National Investigation Agency has also begun the process to attach his assets. The NIA said that the order declaring Naik as a proclaimed offender was issued recently by a special court in Mumbai, after which the process of attachment of his assets has been initiated. Now, Naik is being probed under the terror and money laundering charges by the NIA. The NIA on 18th of November 2016 had registered a criminal case against the controversial preacher at its Mumbai branch under various sections of the Indian Penal Code and Unlawful Activities Prevention Act. His organization, the Islamic Research Foundation, was declared an unlawful association by the government a day before the NIA registered the case. Naik is accused of spreading hatred by his provocative speeches, funding terrorists and laundering crores of rupees over the 3 years. He fled India on 1st of July 2016. An enforcement directorate on Friday said that it has attached assets of over 148 crore rupees in Andhra Pradesh in connection with its money laundering probe in cases related to YSR Congress leader Jagan Mohan Reddy and others. Official sources say that a provisional attachment order under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act law has now been issued. The agency said that the attached land was illegally allotted to the companies of Prasad in Parkasam and Guntur districts. The ED began its probe against the politician and his associates on the basis of a CBI FIR. Now, the FIR states that since May 2004, Jagan floated a number of companies wherein quid pro quo investments have been made by the beneficiaries from decisions of the state government in various forms, including SEZs, irrigation contracts, permission for real estate ventures and mines. Time to take a very short break here. Up next, we have all the international and sports news. Stay tuned.
बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग aspect of a case that led to 3 people going wherever they went after that also and becoming heroes. So it's a really nicely put together film.
मेरी तो गुजारिश ये है सारे ऑडियंस के साथ कि आप आइए और ये फिल्म देखिए और अपने आप को पहचानिए, अपने देश को पहचानिए, किस स्पिरिट के साथ इस देश आज़ाद हुआ है उसे पहचानिए.
Welcome back. Now, big story coming in from Sri Lanka, where the country will sign a deal with a Chinese firm to sell 70% stake of the strategically located Hambantota port. Now, the deal is worth $1.12 billion. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe made the announcement. The strategic deal will be signed between a state-owned China Merchants Port Holdings and Sri Lanka Port Authority. The Lankan Prime Minister said that the deal is to give a better deal to the country without any debt. He said that the money realized from the 70% transfer of the equity on a 99-year lease of the Hambantota port will be set off against the debts owed to China. Now, Sri Lanka's cabinet on 25th of July had approved the sale to a Chinese firm of a 70% stake in the port, tweaking the deal after the initial agreement sparked protests. The initial deal was 80-20 share distribution. The Sri Lanka's Navy will be responsible for the security of the port, which will not be allowed as a base for any foreign navy. His comments are being seen as an attempt to allay Indian concerns over the Chinese presence in the Hambantota port. Now, India perceives it as a danger to its national security. And National Security Advisor Ajit Doval called on Chinese President Xi Jinping yesterday, along with the NSAs of Brazil, Russia, India, South Africa in Beijing on Friday. The meeting comes amid a standoff between China and India in the Doklam area in the Sikkim sector recently. Now, Xi Jinping in his address praised them for building a mutual trust and cooperation among the member nations. Earlier on Thursday, Doval met his counterpart Yang Jiechi as well. The two held bilateral talks on the sidelines of the BRICS NSA summit. China reportedly made no mention of the Doklam standoff. Now, at the summit, Doval called on the BRICS countries to show leadership on the issues of regional and global importance, including countering terrorism. Big story from Pakistan, where Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif on Friday resigned after the country's Supreme Court disqualified him as an MP following the Panama Papers scandal probe. The ruling came after a probe into his family's wealth following the Panama Papers leak, linking Sharif's children to offshore companies. Pakistan Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif resigned on Friday, hours after the country's Supreme Court held him guilty in the Panama Papers scandal. The top court of Pakistan disqualified him from holding public office and ordered corruption cases to be filed against him and his family. The court dismissed Sharif after an investigative panel alleged his family could not account for his vast wealth.
पाकिस्तान का कोई भी वज़ीर-ए-आज़म हो, पाकिस्तान की आवाम के दिलों का वज़ीर-ए-आज़म मोहम्मद नवाज शरीफ है और मोहम्मद नवाज शरीफ को जो कि तीसरी दफ़ा मुंतखब वज़ीर-ए-आज़म है, वज़ीर-ए-आज़म की कुर्सी की जरूरत नहीं है।
हम नजर झुका के नहीं चलेंगे, हम इंशाल्लाह नजर उठा के चलेंगे। हमारे साथ ये पहली बार नहीं हुआ, बार बार हुआ है।
Finance Minister Ishaq Dar, one of Sharif's closest allies, was also removed from office. This is the third time Sharif has been unable to complete his term as Prime Minister. The ruling party has asserted that the government would complete its term and soon elect a new leader. Pakistan Attorney General has said that Sharif's disqualification is for life and he will not be able to contest elections again.
वज़ीर-ए-आज़म नवाज शरीफ ने आज अपनी पार्टी के साथ जो मीटिंग हुई उसमें दो टोक अल्फाज में कहा है कि हम पाकिस्तान के अवाम के मैंडेट का दिफा करेंगे और इंशाअल्लाह ताला मुस्लिम लीग नून की हुकूमत 4 जून 2018 तक अपना मैंडेट मुकम्मल करेगी।
Pakistan's opposition Tehreek-e-Insaf party welcomed the Supreme Court's verdict and described it as an end to Godfather's rule. Other opposition parties also gave credit to Tehreek-e-Insaf, led by cricketer turned politician Imran Khan, for the legal victory. The top court had taken up the case last October on petitions filed by Imran Khan-led Pakistan's Tehreek-e-Insaf and 2 others.
मैं पाकिस्तान की अदलिया को मैं उनको खराज तहसीन पेश करता हूं, मैं उनको अपनी कौम की तरफ से उनका शुक्रिया अदा करता हूं। मैं JIT के मेंबर्स का मैं कहता हूं आप कौम के हीरो हैं, आपने हमें उम्मीद दे दी पाकिस्तान के लिए।
The country has been divided over the Supreme Court's verdict. Hundreds of supporters and opponents of Sharif took to streets across the country on Friday.
आम आदमी के जय पर डाका मारा, डॉक्टर आसिम को नहीं पकड़ा गया, जरदारी को नहीं पकड़ा गया और नवाज सिर्फ उसको सजा इस बात की दी गई है कि वो मुल्क और कौम की सोच रखता है।
ये अवाम के साथ इंसाफ हुआ है क्योंकि जो इन्होंने लूट मार मचाई हुई थी आप सबके सामने, अवाम के सामने, और जो फैसला आया इससे हम नहीं बल्कि पूरी अवाम खुश हुई है।
Meanwhile, the Pakistan stock market plummeted after the court's decision but recovered later in the day. Pakistan's Punjab Province Chief Minister and brother of Nawaz Sharif, Shehbaz Sharif, is likely to be named the Prime Minister. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. And on to the other top international news. North Korea launched another intercontinental ballistic missile on Friday after the first ICBM test on 4th of July this year. Now, initial estimates indicate that the recent missile could have the longest range that North Korea has tested so far. US President Donald Trump called it only the latest reckless and dangerous action by the North Korean regime. Now, this comes even as the US and other nations are yet to master technologies that can stop ICBMs. Despite continued sanctions and condemnation, North Korea's belligerence continues. The country conducted a new intercontinental ballistic missile test late at night. South Korea and the Pentagon say the missile reached an altitude of about 3,000 kilometers and landed in the Sea of Japan. It comes 3 weeks after North Korea's first ICBM test. The latest North Korean missile flew higher, further and for longer than in the one in early July. Experts say the latest missile had the potential to strike the west coast of the United States and beyond.
That North Korea has advanced significantly and quicker than many had expected their intercontinental ballistic missile capability that could possibly strike the United States. More to follow, but the time has shortened significantly, and North Korea is a significant threat.
After the launch, North's leader Kim Jong-un was cited as saying the country's nuclear program was an invaluable asset. The launch has been condemned by a number of countries. South Korea's President Moon Jae-in convened an emergency security meeting at the middle of the night. President Donald Trump said that US will take all necessary steps to ensure the security of the American homeland and protect allies in the region.
이번 탄도미사일 발사는 유엔 안보리 결의대로의 명백한 위반뿐만 아니라 국제 평화와 안전에 대한 엄중한 위협이라는 점에서 이를 강력히 규탄합니다.
先般の ICBM2 ミサイルの発射について我が国の安全に対する脅威が
Hours after the North Korea's test, the US and South Korean military conducted a live fire exercise as a show of force in response to the missile test. Both militaries conducted a similar show of force after North Korea's first ICBM test in early July as well. Experts North Korea has accelerated its ICBM missile program. The US believes that North Korea will be able to launch a reliable nuclear-capable ICBM by early 2018. 2017 has been a year of rapid progress for North Korea's missile program. Pyongyang has carried out 12 missile tests and has conducted 2 ICBM tests now. US lawmakers have overwhelmingly passed a bill that would expand economic sanctions on North Korea. However, so far sanctions have not slowed Pyongyang's march towards a long-range nuclear missile. While the Trump administration officials have warned that all options are on the table, but a clear path forward is yet to materialize. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And on to cricket news, India will resume their second innings at the overnight score of 189 for 3 on day 4 of the Galle Test against Sri Lanka today. The visitors had a lead of 498 runs at the stumps on day 3, and they will now look to add more quick-fire runs before putting Sri Lanka to bat again today. Abhinav Mukund was caught leg before for 81 on what became the last ball of the day. Skipper Virat Kohli was on the crease at 76 not out. Earlier, India bowled out the hosts for just 291 runs. Ravindra Jadeja bagged 3 wickets, while Mohammad Shami took 2. For Sri Lanka, Dilruwan Perera top scored with an unbeaten 92. And Rajya Sabha television production Rag Desh released in cinema halls across the country on Friday. The film is based on the 1945 Red Fort trials of 3 Indian National Army officers that marked a defining moment in India's independence movement. Actors Kunal Kapoor, Mohit Marwa and Amit Saad are playing the lead roles in the movie, which has been directed by Tigmanshu Dhulia.
I think they're ready to surrender.
आईएनए की बागी फौजियों पर अंग्रेज देशद्रोह का मुकदमा चलाएंगे।
उन तीनों के बचने के चांसेस कम हैं।
ये कोई आम केस नहीं, कोर्ट मार्शल है। बोला भाई, एक केस आप कांग्रेस के लिए नहीं, सुभाष बोस के लिए लड़ी।
Lieutenant Gobak Singh Dhillon, Captain Shah Nawaz Khan, Captain P.K. Sehgal. Section 41, waging war against the king. You are charged with murder.
मूवी बहुत सही है, देखनी चाहिए। पता चलता है कि कैसे आज़ाद हिंद फौज के बारे में सब कुछ जानकारी मिलती है, सुभाष चंद्र बोस के बारे में। तो एक बार देखनी चाहिए, मूवी बहुत अच्छी मूवी है।
कुणाल कपूर ने बहुत बढ़िया एक्टिंग की है। सपोर्टिंग रोल में जितने एक्टर्स थे सभी ने बहुत अच्छा काम किया है। फिल्म लिखी बहुत अच्छे से गई है। तिग्मांशु धूलिया के ऊपर कोई सवाल उठाने का मतलब नहीं है, बहुत अच्छा काम किया है उन्होंने।
डायलॉग भी बहुत अच्छा है और कलाकार भी बहुत अच्छे हैं। कलाकार का जो कलाकारी था एक फौजी के रूप में, तो लगा कि नहीं ये बड़ा यथार्थ दिख रहे हैं।
अभी रिसेंट टाइम में इस तरह की मूवीज़ बॉलीवुड में बनने बंद हो गई है, तो अभी इस रिसेंट टाइम में अभी कोई दूसरा इस तरह का मूवी आया नहीं है। तो उस नज़रिए से अगर देखा जाए तो बहुत अच्छी मूवी है और कलाकारों का चयन ही बहुत अच्छा हुआ है और सभी का कैरेक्टर परफेक्ट है इसमें।
Lieutenant Gobak Singh Dhillon, Captain Shah Nawaz Khan, Captain P. Sehgal. Section 41, waging war against the king. You are charged with murder.
It's a very patriotic movie. बहुत अच्छी थी, conceptual बहुत अच्छे थे, concept अच्छे थे।
बहुत बढ़िया लगी। एक बार प्लीज आप एक बार जरूर देखें, ये मूवी बहुत बढ़िया है।
अच्छी मूवी थी, बहुत बढ़िया, सबको देखनी चाहिए पिक्चर। गुड, वेरी गुड।
आप लोगों को जरूर देखनी चाहिए एक बार। आई होप आप अपनी फैमिली के साथ इस मूवी को देखें और एंजॉय करें।
That's it from me and my team in this edition of News. Thanks for watching. Have a great day ahead.